It was Christmas Eve. The city was full of lights, music, and joy. Streets were decorated with shining stars, glowing reindeers, and trees wrapped in gold and red. People walked with smiles, holding bags full of gifts, rushing home to their families. Every window glowed with warmth. Laughter echoed from every restaurant, but not everyone had a home to return to. On a quiet bench near the city square, a young girl named Lena, just 17, sat alone. Her clothes were old and torn. Her coat was too thin for the freezing wind. Her shoes had holes. Her cheeks were red from the cold, and her fingers shook as she held them close to her mouth, trying to warm them. She watched people pass by, laughing, talking, hugging. She wished she could be part of that world. But she wasn't. Not anymore. Lena hadn't eaten a proper meal in 3 days. The little money she had was spent on a cup of tea yesterday. Now she had nothing. Not even hope. Her eyes filled with tears, but she quickly wiped them away. "Don't cry," she whispered to herself. "You're strong." She looked up at the sky. Snow began to fall slowly like soft feathers. Each flake touched her face like a quiet reminder that winter didn't care who had a home and who didn't. Just then, a black luxury car turned the corner and stopped near the bench. It was long, shiny, and clearly expensive. The type of car that powerful people drove. The engine purred like a sleeping lion. The back door opened. Out stepped a man in his early 30s, tall and confident. He wore a long black coat and gloves. His eyes were sharp, his face calm. His name was Jan, a millionaire known across the city, but very few had met him. Some said he had made his money from tech. Others said he was born rich. But no one knew much about his personal life. He was quiet, private, mysterious. People often saw him in news photos, at charity events, always serious, always alone. He stood still for a moment, staring at the glowing city. Then his eyes moved and landed on Lena. Their eyes met. She looked away quickly. She didn't want pity. She didn't want to be seen as weak, but Ayan didn't walk away. He slowly walked toward her. His steps were calm, but strong. Each footstep crunched in the fresh snow. Lena sat up straight, afraid he was going to tell her to leave. Maybe the police were coming. Maybe someone complained, but instead he stopped a few steps away and asked softly, "Are you hungry?" Lena looked up, surprised. His voice was gentle, not proud, not rude, just kind. She didn't answer right away. Was it a trick? Some people offered food only to laugh and walk away. She had seen it before. Ayan saw the fear in her eyes. He took off one of his gloves and reached into his coat pocket. Then he held out a small hotel card. "Come with me," he said. "I'll get you something warm to eat." Lena hesitated. Her body screamed yes, but her mind whispered no. She had trusted strangers before. It never ended well, but something in Ayan's eyes made her believe, just for a moment, that this time might be different. She stood up slowly. Her legs were numb, and she almost fell. Ayan reached out, steadying her with one hand. He didn't say anything, just waited. "Why? Are you helping me?" she asked quietly. Ayan looked at the falling snow for a moment before replying, "Because no one helped me. When I needed it." There was something deep in his voice, something heavy. They walked to the car together. The driver opened the door, confused but silent. Lena sat inside, the warmth of the seat shocking her skin. It felt like entering another world. Ayan sat beside her and gave a short nod. The car drove off, away from the noise of the busy streets. Lena sat quietly, still unsure. But her heart, for the first time in months, felt something close to safe. She didn't know where they were going. She didn't know who Ayan really was. But that night, something inside her changed, and outside, the snow kept falling. The luxury car rolled through the snowy streets, quiet and smooth. Inside, Lena sat still, holding her hands close to the heater. She hadn't felt this kind of warmth in a long time. Her fingers slowly stopped shaking. Her stomach, still empty, made soft noises. Beside her, Ayan looked out the window, deep in thought. He didn't say much. His presence was calm, almost peaceful. But there was something about him, something heavy, like he was carrying a sadness of his own. After a few minutes, the car pulled up to a 5-star hotel. The lights sparkled. The doorman opened the door, but when he saw Lena, his face changed. She looked poor, dirty, unfit for a place like this. But before the man could speak, Ayan gave him one sharp look. The doorman froze, bowed slightly, and stepped back. Lena stepped out, nervous. She had never seen such a place before. The floor inside the hotel lobby was like glass. The smell was sweet, like flowers and fresh food. Everyone was dressed nicely. Waiters moved quietly, like dancers. Ayan walked in like he belonged there. Everyone greeted him with respect. "This way," he said gently, leading Lena to a private dining room in the back. A table was already set. White plates, silver spoons, and golden candles. The room felt warm. Soft music playing in the background. Lena sat down slowly, still unsure if this was real. The waiter came. Ayan ordered food. He didn't ask what she wanted. He seemed to know what someone in her condition needed. Soon, hot soup arrived. Then soft bread, roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, fresh vegetables, and finally a sweet chocolate dessert. Lena stared at the food with wide eyes. She hadn't seen this much food in months. Her hands trembled as she picked up the spoon. "Take your time," Ayan said. She took a small bite, then another, then more. Her eyes filled with tears. She tried to hide them, but Ayan noticed. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "No one has ever fed me like this," she whispered. "Not since my mom passed." Ayan leaned forward slightly. "What happened to your mom?" Lena took a deep breath. "She died when I was 15. She was all I had. After that, I lived in a shelter. Then the shelter closed. I've been on the streets for almost 2 years." She didn't cry loudly. Just a quiet tear rolling down her cheek. Ayan nodded slowly. He didn't ask more. He just listened. Then he said, "You're strong. Most people couldn't survive what you've been through." Lena looked up, surprised. No one had ever said that to her. "What about you?" she asked. "You look like you have everything. Why did you stop for me tonight?" Ayan looked away for a moment. His voice was lower now. "When I was younger," he said, "I lost everything too. My father died suddenly. We were rich one day, poor the next. No one helped us. I remember being cold, hungry, just like you." Lena stared at him. She didn't expect that. "But you became rich again," she said softly. "I worked hard," Ayan replied, "but I never forgot the pain, the cold, the hunger. I promised myself, if I ever saw someone in that same pain, I'd help." The room fell silent for a moment. "You're the first person I've helped like this," he added. Lena was confused. "Why me?" "I don't know," Ayan answered honestly. "Maybe because you reminded me of someone I lost. Or maybe tonight felt different." Lena looked down, her heart pounding. She had no idea why this stranger was being so kind, but for the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. After dinner, Ayan stood up. "Come," he said. He walked her through a hallway and stopped at a hotel room. "This is your room for the night," he said. "There's a warm bed, clean clothes, and a bathroom. Sleep well." Lena's mouth opened in shock. "This is for me?" He nodded. "Tomorrow we talk again." Before she could say anything more, Ayan smiled gently and walked away. Lena stepped into the room. It was beautiful. A soft bed with white sheets, towels, a warm shower, a small table with snacks and tea. She sat on the bed and cried, this time, not from pain, but from a feeling she had forgotten. Morning light peeked through the hotel window. The soft rays touched Lena's face as she slowly opened her eyes. For a moment, she forgot where she was. The warmth of the blanket, the softness of the bed. It all felt like a dream, but it wasn't a dream. She sat up quickly and looked around. The room was quiet, clean, and beautiful. On the bedside table, someone had left a small note and a cup of warm tea. She picked up the note with shaking hands. It said, "Good morning, Lena. I'll return at 9 a.m. Please wait." Ayan. Her heart skipped a beat. He remembered her. Lena had spent so many nights believing the world had forgotten her. But not Ayan. He was different. She didn't know why he cared, but she felt something deep inside. Hope. She drank the tea slowly, savoring each sip. Then she went to the bathroom, looked at her reflection, and gasped. Her face looked cleaner, her hair less wild, her eyes brighter. There was a fresh change of clothes on a chair, simple jeans, a sweater, and warm socks. She put them on. For the first time in years, she felt human again. At exactly 9 a.m., a soft knock came at the door. She opened it. Ayan stood there. He wore a simple black coat and carried a small bag. His eyes met hers, and for a second, they both just stood silently. "You look better," he said with a gentle smile. "Thank you," Lena whispered. "Let's go," he said. "There's something I want to show you." They walked out together and got into the car again. This time, Lena sat straighter, still nervous, but no longer afraid. As they drove through the city, Ayan asked, "How old are you?" 17, she answered. "Almost 18 in 2 months. And school, did you ever go?" "I did, until my mom died. Then I had to survive. No time for school." Ayan didn't say anything for a moment. Then he asked, "If you could change your life, what would you want?" Lena thought hard. "I just want to be safe," she said. "To have a place to sleep, to eat without begging, and maybe one day help someone like me." Ayan looked impressed. "That's a strong answer." They stopped near a small, quiet building. It didn't look fancy, just clean and peaceful. A white sign above the gate read, "New Beginnings Foundation." "This is mine," Ayan said. "I opened it 2 years ago for people like you. Homeless youth, forgotten girls, abused teens. I don't tell many people about it." Lena stared at the building, her eyes wide. "Inside," he continued, "you get shelter, food, safety, and second chance." "Why are you showing me this?" she asked, confused. "Because," Ayan said softly, "I want you to live here, if you're ready." Lena's eyes filled with tears. "You want me to stay here? For how long?" "As long as you need, until you're strong enough to stand on your own feet." She couldn't speak. Her voice broke. "No one's ever done this for me." "I don't want anything in return," Ayan said quickly. "Just promise me one thing." Lena looked up. "When you're strong again, help someone else. Pass it forward." She nodded slowly. Her heart was pounding with emotion. This man, a millionaire, didn't just feed her. He was giving her a future. They stepped inside. A woman welcomed Lena with a warm smile. There were other girls, too, reading, laughing, learning. It didn't feel like a shelter. It felt like a home. Later, as they sat on a bench outside watching the sunrise, Lena turned to Ayan. "Why me?" she asked again. Ayan smiled. "Because you didn't give up. Even when the world forgot you, you kept going." He paused and added, "And maybe because I see something in you, something rare." Lena wiped a tear. "I won't let you down." He looked at her kindly. "I know." But deep in Ayan's eyes, something else was hidden. A secret, a memory, something from his past he hadn't shared yet. Days turned into weeks. Lena's life started to change. She was now living at New Beginnings Foundation, the shelter Ayan had shown her. She had her own small room, clean clothes and warm food every day. More importantly, she felt safe. For the first time in years, Lena wasn't afraid to sleep at night. She also made friends, other girls who had faced hunger, abuse, and pain. They shared stories, cried together, and slowly began to heal. But even as her life got better, one question stayed in her heart. Who was Ayan really? He would visit every few days, bringing books, food, or just spending time with the girls. He smiled often, spoke kindly, and helped wherever he could. But still, there was something different about him, something heavy in his eyes. One afternoon, while helping clean the garden outside, Lena saw him standing near the gate, staring at a photo in his wallet. When she walked up, he quickly hid it. "You miss someone?" she asked gently. Ayan paused, then looked away. "Yes," he said. "Someone I failed to protect." There was a long silence between them. "Was it family?" Lena asked softly. Ayan took a deep breath. "Her name was Sarah. She was my younger sister, just 16 when she died." Lena's heart sank. "I'm sorry." He nodded, his eyes looking far away. "We had money, but not love at home. My parents were always busy. I left for college and she was left alone. One winter she ran away." He stopped. His voice shook. "She was found 2 weeks later, frozen in an alley. No one helped her. She was just a girl, just like you." Lena couldn't speak. She didn't know what to say. "That's why I built this place," Ayan said. "I couldn't save Sarah, but maybe I can save someone else." Lena's eyes filled with tears. She now understood why he cared so much. That night she sat alone in her room, staring out the window at the stars. She whispered, "Thank you, Sarah. Because of you, I was saved." But just as Lena was feeling peace, trouble began to grow. One of the older girls at the shelter, Mira, came to Lena secretly. "I heard something strange," Mira whispered. "There's a man asking questions about you." "About me?" Lena blinked. "He came around the shelter pretending to be a helper, but I saw his badge. He's not a helper. He's private security." Lena's heart began to race. "Did you tell Ayan?" she asked. Mira nodded. "Yes." But he didn't seem surprised. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned. Who was looking for her? And why? The next morning, Ayan called Lena into his office. He looked serious. "Lena," he began, "I need to ask, is there anything from your past you haven't told me? Anyone who might be looking for you?" Lena froze. Her voice trembled. "Why do you ask?" he sighed. "Because someone showed up again this morning, a man. He claimed he was from a private company. He showed your photo." Lena felt the ground shift beneath her. She swallowed hard. I ran away 2 years ago from a man who claimed he owned me. He wasn't family, but he took me when my mom died, locked me in a small room, made me work for food." Ayan's jaw tightened. "Do you know his name?" he asked. Lena nodded. "Everyone called him Malik." Ayan stood up slowly and walked to the window. His back was to her now. Then he whispered, "I know Malik." Lena's eyes widened. "You do?" He turned to her with a hard expression. "Yes. He used to work for my family years ago. Then he disappeared with a large amount of money and started something dark. Very dark." Lena stepped back, shocked. "You mean he was part of your world?" Ayan nodded. "And now he's found you." Lena sat frozen in the chair. Her heart pounded like a drum. Malik, the man who had trapped her, stolen her childhood, was close again. After years of hiding, he had found her. But how, and more importantly, why now? Ayan stood by the window, his jaw clenched. He looked deep in thought, as if pieces of a dangerous puzzle were falling into place. "He used to work for my family," Ayan said slowly. "Long ago, my father trusted him, but Malik betrayed us, stole money, cheated people, and disappeared." He turned to Lena. "I never thought I'd hear his name again. And now, he's after you." Lena's voice trembled. "He treated me like I was his servant, locked me in a room. I cleaned, cooked, and he'd still scream at me." Tears filled her eyes. "I thought I escaped. I thought I was safe here." Ayan walked over and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "You are safe, Lena, I promise, but now we need to be careful." That night, Ayan increased the shelter's security. Cameras were checked, doors locked early. Guards were placed outside the building, but fear still lingered in the air like a cold wind. Lena couldn't sleep. Every sound outside made her jump. At 3 a.m., someone knocked softly on her door. It was Mira. "Come to the window," she whispered. Quietly. Lena followed her, heart pounding. They peeked through the curtains. A black car was parked outside. The shelter. Engine running, but no one stepped out. "Is that him?" Mira asked. Lena stared hard, her face pale. "I think so." Suddenly, the car door opened. A tall man stepped out, dressed in all black, wearing dark sunglasses even at night. He looked up, directly at their window as if he knew they were watching. Lena gasped and pulled away. "It's him," she whispered. "That's Malik." But the man didn't come closer. Instead, he lit a cigarette, stood for a moment, then drove off into the darkness. The next morning, Ayan held a meeting with the staff. "We have two choices," he said. "We hide, or we fight." Lena stepped forward, her voice shaky but brave. "I want to fight. I don't want to run anymore." Ayan nodded with pride. "Then we bring this man down, legally, completely." He called his private lawyer, his tech team, and even someone from the local news. Over the next few days, Ayan gathered evidence against Malik, stories from other victims, financial crimes, missing children reports, and Lena's own words. But just as the team was ready to act, something terrible happened. One evening, while Lena was helping clean the dining hall, the power suddenly went out. The lights flickered. Everything went dark. A scream came from the other room. Guards rushed to check the gate, but someone had already entered. Lena hid behind a counter, her hands shaking. Heavy footsteps echoed on the tile floor. Then came the voice. Cold. Familiar. "Lena, you've made this very hard for me." It was Malik. He walked into the room like he owned it. "I gave you food. I gave you shelter. And this is how you repay me? Running to a rich boy?" Lena stood up, tears in her eyes, but her voice strong. "You don't own me. I'm not afraid of you anymore," Malik laughed. "You will be. I always get what's mine." But just as he stepped forward, a bright spotlight hit him. Guards rushed in. Ayan followed, holding a phone. "Smile, Malik," Ayan said coldly. "You're live on every news channel in this city, and you just admitted everything." Malik's face turned pale. From behind Ayan, two police officers entered. "You're under arrest," one said, locking handcuffs around Malik's wrists. Lena covered her mouth in shock. It was finally over. The police dragged Malik out of the shelter, but his final words stayed in Lena's ears. "You're not who you think you are." She stood in silence as his voice echoed in her mind. What did he mean? Was he just trying to scare her again, or was he telling the truth? Ayan placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Don't listen to him," he said. "He's just angry because he lost." But Lena wasn't sure anymore. That night she couldn't sleep. Memories came back, flashes of her childhood, a woman's voice singing, a golden necklace with a name carved on it. She walked to her small drawer and pulled out an old locket. It was the only thing she had when she escaped Malik's home. She had never opened it, too scared it might remind her of pain. But now her fingers shook as she carefully unlocked it. Inside was a tiny folded photo, faded, torn at the edges. She opened it slowly. A young woman smiled back at her. She wore a red coat and stood beside a tall man in a suit. Behind them was a grand house decorated with golden lights. Lena stared at the photo for a long time. The woman looked familiar, too familiar. Suddenly, Mira knocked. "Lena, come quick. Ayan needs you in the study." Lena rushed down. Ayan sat at his desk, laptop open, papers all around him. He looked serious. "I asked my investigator to look into Malik's background," he said, "and we found something." He pushed a document toward her. "This is your birth certificate." Lena blinked. "What? How?" "Malik had it hidden. He stole it from your real home years ago. Lena, your real name is Lena Zaveri." Her breath caught. "That's my mother's last name." Ayan nodded. "Your parents weren't poor, Lena. They were rich, very rich. Your father owned several properties. But when your parents died in a car crash, Malik, who was supposed to be your guardian, took you and vanished." Lena stepped back in shock. "All this time, I thought I was alone." "You're not," Ayan said softly. You were stolen. But now the truth is coming out. He handed her another document, a will. Your father left everything in your name. Malik tried to steal it. But now that he's caught, it's time you take back what is yours. Lena felt like the ground was shaking. She wasn't just a homeless girl, she was someone with a name, a history, a home. But I don't know how to be rich. I don't want the money. I just want to help others like me. Ayan smiled. Then use it to change lives, just like yours was changed. Later that day, Ayan took Lena to visit the house from the photo. It stood tall, though a bit old and dusty. The moment Lena stepped inside, memories came flooding back. A piano near the window, the smell of cookies in the kitchen, her mother's soft voice. She broke down in tears. This was my home. Ayan stood beside her, quiet and respectful. You're finally where you belong. But just when things seemed peaceful, something happened. As they cleaned the old house, Mira found a small box hidden behind a bookshelf. Inside was a letter. It was written by Lena's father, days before his death. It said, "If anything happens, to us, protect Lena. She is in danger. There are people who want to take her for more than just money. Be careful. Someone inside the family can't be trusted." Lena read it twice. Her voice trembled. There's someone else? Ayan narrowed his eyes. This isn't over yet. The house was quiet, but Lena's heart was loud. She kept staring at the letter her father had written before his death. His words repeated in her mind. Be careful. Someone inside the family can't be trusted. She turned to Ayan. There's more to this story. Someone close to my parents wanted me gone. Ayan nodded. Then we'll find them. Over the next few days, Ayan's team began digging into old family files, legal documents, and messages left behind by Lena's parents. Slowly, pieces of the puzzle came together. Lena's father, Mr. Zaveri, had a younger brother, Uncle Farouk. He was charming, smart, and greedy. When Mr. Zaveri built his business empire, Farouk expected to get half, but instead the business was left fully to Lena's father. Family tension grew. There were arguments, letters filled with anger, and then silence. After the car crash that killed Lena's parents, Farouk disappeared too. Until now, one of Ayan's investigators finally tracked him down. He was living in a big house, far away, using a fake name. Ayan and Lena made a quiet plan with the police. They visited him at night. Farouk opened the door with a fake smile. He didn't recognize Lena at first, but the moment she stepped into the light, his smile dropped. Lena, he said, you're alive. You knew? She asked. Her voice was calm but strong. He stepped back. I thought you were gone. No, you wanted me gone, she replied. You helped Malik take me. The police stepped in before he could run. Farouk was arrested for conspiracy, forgery, and theft. In court, both Malik and Farouk were found guilty. And Lena? She stood tall, no longer a helpless homeless girl. She was strong now. She had survived the cold, the lies, and the pain. Now, she had truth and justice. A year later, it was Christmas Eve again. But this time, Lena wasn't on a park bench. She stood inside a large, warm community center filled with lights, music, and the smell of hot food. Children laughed. Homeless families sat at tables, eating warm dinners. Lena walked through the hall, greeting everyone. She had used her inheritance to open the Warm Heart Foundation, a place for anyone without a home. She didn't just give food, she gave second chances, and beside her, Ayan stood proudly, not just as a friend, but as her fiancé. He had proposed a few months ago, not because she was rich, but because of her heart. Lena smiled and looked out the window. Snow fell gently. She whispered to herself, from the cold streets to a warm heart. I found home again.